Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So, of course, I had to cover the whole Tracee Ellis Ross, Michelle Obama interview. Apparently, Michelle Obama has a podcast. Like everybody, their mama got a podcast at this point, and she has recently interviewed Tracee Ellis Ross. And the part of the interview that has gone viral is Tracee explaining why she likes younger men as opposed to men around her age. And so what we're going to do is let it play, and then we're going to talk about it.
And I date younger men. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it is because...
Let's stop on that, folks.
Oh my God, we had a great dinner. We had a great dinner, by the way, where across the table, your husband goes, "But why?" And I said, "Well, maybe because I can."
Yes, Harish. This is what I'm saying. Tales from Tracee's.
It's fun. It's very fun to share.
Tracee tale.
But
I'm sorry.
But one of the reasons, though, that because I had to ask myself that question, I was like, "What is this about?"
Yeah.
Because I want a partner, and so often, and it's not just that I'm older. I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, just robust life. So it's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference. But I had to ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous?
There's that.
But a lot of reasons, I mean, we've talked about this, that often I date younger men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or whatever those things were, or prize, and I have no interest in it, and I will not do it again. Men my age are steeped in.
Okay, so you heard what everyone is talking about at this point, and we're going to cover all the bases. But the first thing that I want to say is that, listen, Tracee is finding her lane, and this is what I mean. She's in her 50s. She's not going to get married, y'all. She's not going to get married, okay? And so she's doing what's left to her. She's wealthy, and she's not a bad looking woman. She's a pretty woman. She look good for her age. She not fat. She not sloppy. You know, she still got a nice body. All right. She can still rock a bikini and look good in it. Okay. She's sugar mamaing, y'all. She's sugar mamaing. And me, for one, I'm not even gonna be mad that she's sugar mamaing. Now we're gonna talk about the other things that led up to this point in her life, but right now I'm not even gonna be mad. And this is why I'm not gonna be mad at the sugar mama thing, because what else she's supposed to do? What else she's supposed to do? The traditional route, because the tradition is a problem for her. She just said it out of her mouth. She does not even like traditional masculinity. That's one of the biggest problems. Men in her age are what? Gen Xers. So we have a different mindset in the first place about what's supposed to be going on and what things are supposed to be happening. So she's uncomfortable with that for many reasons. We're going to get into it. But just from a superficial perspective, what is she supposed to do? Because she's going to have sex with somebody. She is not too old for that. She's not. And because she's not an old, ugly, fat hag, there are young men that's going to blow her world up. They're going to blow her back all the way out. They're going to do it, and they're going to like doing it. They're going to do it, and they're going to like doing it. Okay? She going to show them tricks. They're going to go back to them chicks that they deal with like they know how to please a woman. But they got it from her. She's telling them, do this to a woman, do this to me, do that to me. And so the stuff that they figure out dealing with her sexually, they're going to take that back to the younger women that they deal with, and the young women going to be going crazy because he knows how to have sex. So they want to be sugar babied. They going over there. They like her because she not sweating them. She don't care what's in their phone. She's not trying to figure out what's on their social media. She's not trying. She wants the company of them. She want to talk to them. They got a male presence. She want to have sex with them. She gonna buy them something. She gonna give them some money or something, or whatever the case may be. They gonna go about their business. She gonna go about her business. And when she call them again, or when they call her again, and blah 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 blah, they gonna do it again, and they not sweating. That's why the young men like it. They want an older woman that's not some type of hag. They ain't gotta throw up to be with her. And so they like, oh, okay, well, she's still a good looking woman. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like they can't do it. And she laughs with him and kiki with him, and she give him some money or something, a car, or buy him some Jordans or whatever it is that they getting out of her. And that's why they like her. That is why they are going for it. This is what she's left with. This is what she's left with. She's left with having to do this. Okay? She's left with having to sugar mama with these young men because the older men not having it. Now we can go into the meat of it. Why is she saying that the older men, the men around her age, are toxically masculine? This goes back to what I was speaking about feminism, feminist hyenas not liking the box that the Most High put women in, and always trying to quote unquote be out of the box. And they want men that are out of that box also, so that the men cannot hold them accountable for the contents of that box. Okay, this is what she's talking about. She doesn't like men who have a traditional sense of masculinity, because if they have a traditional sense of masculinity, they also have a traditional sense of femininity, and that's what she doesn't want to be accountable to. So the traditional masculine traits come with things that any woman with feminine energy would like. The ability to lead, the ability to dominate, the ability to take charge in things and things of that nature. However, the problem for women like Tracee is that they don't like the rest of it. They don't like the order that comes with it. They don't like the accountability that comes with it. They don't like the responsibility of being in a relationship with such a man. She want to be able to do what she want to do, when she want to do it, how she want to do it. And the man in her life doesn't hold her feet to the fire of anything. He doesn't have the authority. He doesn't have the jurisdiction to hold her to anything. And who better to get than a younger man who doesn't have the life experience? He's in a younger generation. He's probably in his 20s, you know what I'm saying? Maybe hitting 30. And, she can run rings around them in terms of life experience. She can talk about that. She can throw it up. Well, I've been here, well, I've been there, and I've done this and I've done that. And she's accomplished more in her lifetime than the man that she's talking to, the younger man that she's dealing with, probably ain't accomplished that as much as her. They certainly don't have the money she got. So she's able to grandstand, and she's able to have the dynamic be in her favor in a relationship like that. Okay. I'm not going to go off on the tangent of, oh, you know what I'm saying, if it was men the other way around. I'm not going to go off on that tangent, because men are the other way around. There's a lot of men who are not married, who have money. They not going to get married, and they with younger women, and nobody don't say nothing. So she has taken on a masculine way for the majority of her life, her adult life. It is no wonder it has ended her in a masculine space. She's in a similar space that the men of her financial caliber are in. when they don't get wives. They be like, you know what? Forever a player then. I got the money. I got the access. I'm going to deal with the younger women. I'm not going to get married. I'm certainly not going to deal with a woman around my age group for whatever reason. Is what it is. So she is now in that space. She's in a masculine space. That's just where that's what she worked towards, whether she knew it or not, whether she wanted to be in that space or not. And in likelihood is that she didn't realize that she was going to be in that space. She wanted to be a boss chick. She wanted to be in charge, but she thought, like so many others, that eventually there would be some man that would put her in that feminine space and that she would be able to accept such a man. There have been plenty of men, I would wager, that would have done exactly that with her and loved her thoroughly. However, she doesn't want the quote unquote toxic masculinity that is in older men. The fact of the matter is the masculinity is not toxic, it's solid, is what it is. That's what it really is. She's using the word toxic, but that is not what she's referring to in reality. In reality, she's saying that the men around her age, again, the Gen Xer men, especially the ones that are successful, because let's just be honest, she rubbing shoulders with the men around her age, got as much money or more money than she do. And they have as many accomplishments as she has. Okay, just as much life experience as she has or more. So therefore, she can't come into that relationship, stunting on him, for lack of a better term. She can't stunt. She can't run rings around him. She can't grandstand. She can't be like, yeah, well, you can't tell me because that kind of guy gonna shut it off. He gonna shut it off. Who you talking to? Like, you can't even come to me with that kind of energy. You can't even come to me with that kind of energy. And you beautiful, Tracee, but you can't do it. Like, I'm not gonna tolerate it, mainly because I don't have to. I don't have to tolerate that. And the men in her life, whoever they have been, have shown her this. This is why she's not married. And she can say all of that. Well, she's choicefully single, whatever that's supposed to mean. She can say all this other stuff. But every 3 to 6 months, Tracee get on this internet. And if she ain't got a thirst trap picture, she's somewhere lamenting about how she did not end up in a traditional space of being a wife to a dominant man with children, with the family. She's lamenting not being in that space, while at the same time championing the fact that she never was in that space and she never wanted to be in a traditional space. She never wanted to have a traditional man. So then you didn't want the traditional outcome, because you made sure not to be that woman, because being that woman has always been beneath you, hasn't it, Miss Ross? Being the traditional, cooperative, amicable woman. We're not even going to say the word submission, but being an amicable, cooperative woman, that has not been your bag, because you was a bad bee. You was Diana Ross's child, and you was raised with privilege, and you ain't ever needed no man to come do nothing for you, because your mama made all the money that she was going to make, and she raised y'all with it. She had them husbands. They was wealthy and all of that good stuff. So you ain't ever had to struggle in no financial sense. So you have not needed a man from that perspective. And so since she has not needed a man from the financial perspective, she has bought into the same feminism that these low-level women buy into. Well, the only thing a man can really give me is his provision. And if a man can't give me financial provision, then he is not on my level. She attached the level to his money. And that has ruined so many of these hyenas, is ruined because they don't understand a man's provision is more than his money. Yes, his financial decisions and his financial position is important, but it's not the only thing that you have to use to determine what kind of man he is and whether or not he provides well, or whether or not he has a good head on his shoulders. That's the thing. So because she has not needed a man to come rescue her financially, she has reveled in, I'm the boss chick, and I'm fine, and and you can't tell me nothing, and that she's reveled in that. Not being, quote unquote, not being traditional. She don't gotta be in this particular space as a woman. And so, okay, so fine. So now that you're older and you tired, because that's what it be. They get older and they be getting tired. She tired of being a boss chick now. But now she don't got no other choice. And this is why I said earlier in the recording, I said, I ain't really even mad at where she at right now, because she's exactly where she's supposed to be. She's exactly where she works to be. Now she got to be somebody's sugar mama. Now she got to be somebody's sugar mama. She got to have somebody's son that's about 26 years old. He trying to learn the world, and listen. He trying to get some money. He might be trying to get some connections or whatever the case may be. Okay? And this is where she's at now. This is how it is now. She got to pay. She got to pay to play because her time, she squandered the time where she could have played for free. Now she got to pay to play. Like a lot of men do. When they get older, they wealthy, they don't want to get married. They figure like marriage ain't a thing for them. They're not going to do it. They play. But at some point, he paying to do that. He pay to play. He want the young baddie. He got to give her some money. He ain't going to get her for free because she don't come for free. He going to do her hair, her nails. He going to buy a Chanel bag. One of them Chanel bags y'all tripping that the Chinese people is making. He going to buy one of them. Then she gonna, be on his arm and this, that, and the third. That's what Tracee is doing. She a sugar mama. Okay. Side note, before I end it off, Miss Obama, and this is what I don't like with the hyena adjacent. I don't like the hyena adjacent chicks either. The chameleons, I don't like them either. Because you, Mrs. Obama, former first lady, you sitting on a podcast somewhere talking about some just stop for the young, a couple of snaps for that. What are you doing? You got a whole husband. There was no less than the president of the United States from 2008 to 2016. What are you talking about? What are you doing? Huh? Want to be a hyena so bad. Got caught up in the lioness's life. Want to be a hyena so bad, so you living vicariously through the hyenas you talk to. I see you. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.